Hey, I'm Jay, and I've got something to say about Dungeons and Lasers, Archon Studios, Armies of Deuslair.
Alright, so I still don't know if this is pronounced Deuslair or Deuslair, but this has so much stuff he'd take forever to paint. He's got like thorns, and then if we look real close at his face, it's like horns and wisps, or thorn, I don't know. I think those look like horns, or worms, something like that. He's kind of almost got like this isn't really a head. It's kind of like there's one eye in the middle and a little mouth in his belly there. And then compared to a human, he's pretty big. So these wraiths, you get 6 of all the little guys in this whole set. All this set is 6. There's no like 2-offs or 1-offs. But these little guys, you can see their heads are kind of the same, made of the same stuff. So these are the wraiths that go with Mahaziel. It's the big guy. These are called wraiths. And then we've got the gourmet, not the butcher, the gourmet, or gourmet. So people were a little upset because his art had a little more like pustules and stuff, and he's a little bit more smooth. Again, next to an oversized dwarf. He's pretty beefy. Next to Mahazel. A little smaller. So Mahazel's like a whole sprue. He's like half a sprue. And then these guys with the gourmet are called gorgers. So you can see all the variety. Whoops. See all the variety here. So we got some big clumpy monster arms. A spear and an axe. And like an executioner hood. This guy has, there's 6 guys, but there's only like 3 extra of these skull waistband things. Here's a guy who gave a big shield. Shield 2. Here's an old school executioner. Two axes. And a little helmet. So they have a lot of variety on their heads on all these. And then sword hands. So again, size to a human, they're pretty chonky. Not large like base size, but they're big. And then this guy is Volard. He's got like a little bird face. He's almost like a corrupted krill. They have these krill bird people. So it's almost like he's a demon version of krill. His arms are a little long. He's a little lanky. And he's got this really thorny, not quite lightning, not quite barbed wire, kind of like thorny staff, thorns in his arms, some bells. He's probably the most like anime demon. His wings are just like rags off of some like stumpies. And then he comes with, I only assembled 3 of these guys, but he comes with these 6 impalers. These guys don't have as many options, and they take up a whole sprue. So 3 of these guys per sprue, where like the other ones are like the butcher and the impaler, or the butcher and the gorgers. The gourmet and the gorgers are all on one sprue. So here's a guy with a 2-handed axe, and like the wings are kind of, there's like 3 different wings I mixed and matched because I thought it looked better that way. So you can see like the 2 outer wings and the 2 inner wings go together, but I decided to mix and match to give them a little more like contrast. But they have bird feet. and varying faces, kind of human torsos. And then they have these soulless. These are kind of like female sculpts. These don't have a big boss that directly go with them, so they kind of go with anybody. So you can see there's a lot of variety there. There were some swords I didn't use. There's only one set of these chains. And there were some extra hooded heads. So if you wanted like all hooded heads, you could probably make them all match. But I wanted to get a lot of variety. Right? And then the good guys, we have Wardress of Lay, which Lay are like all the fairies. So this comes with 3 different sets of wings and 2 different bodies. So there's 4 of one body and 2 of another body. But 2 of each wing set. Taking a little longer on these because I really like them. There's some extra doodads, like I put a scroll on this one, and there's a double sword somewhere. I put one of the dwarf's maces on this one. She's got a 2-handed mace, and then she can switch to a 1-handed mace. So again, I put a scroll on this one and used the dwarf 1-handed mace for some variety. There's the ones with swords. Yeah. So here I put some extra swords on her. And then these are the Knights of Ruth. These are oversized dwarfs. They're a little big compared to the humans, but there's a big 2-handed hammer. This is the 2-handed hammer that I cut down into a 1-handed hammer. Modded that for some variety. Here's the actual 1-handed hammer that comes with the set. And axes. They'll have this kind of same cloak on the back. That's kind of optional. You don't really need that cloak. But it's mostly just their heads and their weapons that are... Well, there's a captain. His eye patch pointing. Big shield. Standard dwarf warrior with his hammer pick and shield. Give him a little drink extra. So there's lots of extra bits and bobs. Let's see what I have left over just from that set. I don't even know where these shields were intended to be used. Maybe on somebody's back instead of the furs. You can see I got lots of hands with weapons and stuff like that. And then these are my favorite out of the set. These, again, I don't know how these are supposed to be pronounced. Din Hyun. So there's a caster, but look at the pose on their legs. Look at that crossed leg pose. Crisscross legs. It's dynamic. So this is actually the same bottom leg with a different, either the leg crossed in front or the leg picked up by the knee. Kind of like a fur, like Eskimo garb, fur coat vibe. So, like, would you believe that these are actually exactly the same except for the knee? But they have such a different pose. Right, like if I hold them like that, you can tell that the upper halves are the same, but like if I'm not holding them the same angle, you wouldn't even know those are the same model. And that's the set. Let me know in the comments what you think.